A riptide is hit full sail, folks, and it's hit hard. This isn't Dorian. This is NXT.
Welcome, everybody, to What's NXT for September 11th, 2019. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good morning, wrestling fans.
And this morning was a surprisingly good episode.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little bit worried because it seemed like the main event and what ended up being the main event was going to be Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure where they were going to go because they've already announced this triple threat match that is going to make a number one contender for Baszler's title. So what is the point of this match? And we both figured it was going to end with shenanigans.
Yeah.
And other than that, I wasn't hopeful.
Yeah.
But they gave us some shit on this show.
Oh, yeah. They gave us a whole bunch of that, the breakout stars from that tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, pretty much getting almost like a second shot on television or just reintroducing him into the actual NXT roster.
Yeah, I told you a lot of these guys were going to show up and fill the holes that have been...
I knew they were going to. I just didn't know what factor they were going to be playing. But at the same time, I've already seen Isaiah Swerve Scott go over to the 205 and debut in a match there. And last week we saw Jordan Miles unsuccessfully challenge Adam Cole. So I knew it was only a matter of time before he started seeing other guys there, but thought they'd wait a little bit longer, but they went full swing into it. So
well, they have to.
Yeah.
You know, WWE's main roster has just taken too many all at once and left a lot of space on the roster for these guys to fill. And I knew coming in the wake of it, of course, we would see the winner, you know, being on NXT, but there's no way that they're not going to pick up some of these guys along the way.
Oh, yeah. At least for enhancement talent, and that's pretty much what we got out, like a couple of them. So.
Now, as I said, our main event is going to be Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler, but we are going to sandwich this show with Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not? They start off before anything else, before the title screen or anything, a black SUV pulls up, limo style. Driver gets out, goes around, opens the door, and Jerry thought it was Triple H. I hadn't noticed anything yet. But then I see a heeled boot.
And then I realized it wasn't Triple H.
Oh, yeah. That's Rhea Ripley. And sure enough, it's Rhea Ripley. And she's ready for her match.
I always saw her ride around on a Vespa for some reason. Not being, toted around like a big-ass fucking Jeep, more or less.
Yeah. And then title screen, which is so much better since they got rid of that choreographed bullshit with all the wrestlers singing the lyrics to the theme song. Thank God.
This isn't We Are the World, okay? This is NXT.
Well, that was a cringy few months.
Yeah.
Just saying. We're going to start off the night with Damian Priest, and I've already learned his music.
Mm-hmm.
The lights were out. I was like, that's Damian Priest right there. Sure enough, comes out wielding his invisible bow and arrow and shooting fire into the screens. It's good, though. I mean, I dig it. So he is going to face Boa. So Boa is now getting fed to him this week. And Boa is a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
And just from his music, you can tell he's Chinese.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I know that is that movie Kung Fu Hustle. Brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Boa is a big guy for Chinese.
Yeah.
I mean, not like, who's the basketball player? Yao Ming.
Yeah.
Not that big, but he almost rivals... Damian Priest. Damian Priest still has
Damian Priest has a little more mass to him, but Bo's got that lankiness to him because of all his mixed martial arts training and whatnot.
Yeah, he's cut.
I think he's proficient in jiu-jitsu. I think it was.
It was an okay match, not an out and out squash, but
no. But it was one of those situations where you knew Bo was not going to win this match.
Yeah, Priest hits what Jerry coined the Falcon air throw.
Dig you.
It. And sure enough, it makes it a Falcon arrow because even though he throws the guy away from him, he still sits out.
Yep.
Which does absolutely nothing, but cool, man. And then Boa ends up getting some offense, but then he runs the ropes and
it's hilarious.
He gets that discus lariat. Damian Priest does, and then he hits the, they called it a salvo kick. He's basically turned it into a Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah.
It is now Trouble in Paradise. He's just stepping into each pivot. Just see it. And then he hits that reckoning, that inverted cutter. Swinging cutter.
And then he puts on his vest and he leaves.
Yeah, Jerry loves the fact that he puts his attire back on before he goes.
Yeah, because you never see that. You always see the costume mistress kind of walk off with the robes or whatnot. He's like, keep that vest here. I don't want to wear it out.
So after this match, we get a video package for Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong. This is all the build up to the one-on-one North American Championship match that they're going to have next week. And if this doesn't close the show, if this isn't our main event for next week, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Although we might have another championship match in that show. I just don't think it would be the caliber this match is going to be.
I doubt it will be. I think that'll be the main event, especially since if Roderick Strong wins, you'll have the entire Undisputed Era out there in the ring at the end of the night, holding up all the gold.
Now, the next segment in this show that has 4 matches, mind you, and that's hard to do with a full-scale in-ring segment, especially one that lasted as long as it did. Johnny Gargano comes out to the ring, and the crowd yells, "Johnny Wrestling, clap, clap," you know the shtick. They yelled Johnny Wrestling for gotta have been 4 or 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Johnny just sits on the bottom rope and waits out the crowd, chanting his name.
He just milked it for all it was worth.
He said he was supposed to be quick, but, the crowd's got to do what they got to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he teases that he is going to the main roster here. Tells the crowd he wants to thank them and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as he's about to say the words, Jerry's prediction to a T.
Shane Thorne comes out. Because he was talking about, first he was talking trash about the Breakout Stars last week, and then he started talking about who cares about what Johnny Gargano is going to be coming to say.
He comes out after the Gargano promo that they did hyping up this.
Yeah.
And says, who cares? He's on his way out. He's gone. He's history. He's the past. And
it's like,
Shane Thorne is the future.
I'm the new shit. Past shit. New shit.
Something like that.
Used to it.
So he comes out and says that NXT is going to be just fine without Johnny. In fact, it's going to be better when the spotlight is now on him.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why the spotlight would be on him just because Johnny Gargano left. Whatever. He tells Johnny to take a bow and take a walk.
Yeah.
And Johnny goes to leave, but he's still got the mic. And as he's leaning into the ropes to exit the ring, he says, I am NXT, and I'm not going anywhere. And my prediction, super kick.
Yep.
Super kick to Shane Thorne, lays him out. Crowd chants for Gargano.
It was quite a predictable segment, but at the same time, it was just good to finally get it out of the way.
You predicted Johnny Gargano's not going anywhere. And the reason he did is, again, he was paying more attention than I was. Johnny Gargano has new Tron graphics.
Yeah.
And so unless he was planning on taking that with him to the main roster, why debut it here?
Yeah.
You would save that for the first live episode when he does his, anyway.
Absolutely.
This was fine for what it was.
I think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get that match here probably the second or third week of the new live shows.
Probably when it's still in full sale.
Mm-hmm.
After this is a video promo for the Forgotten Sons, who say they are the new Savages, or they are the Savages of NXT, and they will no longer be forgotten. And I'm like, you know what?
Forgotten no more.
You know what? Change your name then.
Yeah.
Yeah, change your name. You remind everybody to forget you. And this promo did nothing for me.
It was pointless. It was just a quick. I don't know what that even was. It's something you probably should have saved for next week for those people who are just now tuning in. So like, oh wow, these guys are badasses.
To be serious, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake can put on good matches.
Yeah.
But they have yet to be tag team championship material.
No.
The only one worth a damn in the Forgotten Sons is Jackson Riker, and they really have nothing to do with him. I think him being with the Forgotten Sons is probably holding him back. Honestly.
I'd say so.
But that's a argument for another day. We don't really see them on the show. It's just the promo.
Nope.
After this, we get our second match of the night. Pete Dunne.
This is a welcome surprise.
Hell fucking yeah. Pete Dunne versus Angel Garza.
Even more welcome surprise.
Another superstar from the breakout tournament. And, of course, Pete Dunne's going to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining.
Angel Garza is pretty fucking slick. He's entertaining.
Yeah.
He did some... Okay, so they do this catch as catch can wrestling towards the beginning, and most people know I'm not a big fan of it. But there was one lock that Pete Dunne put on that was like, But then there was this lock that Angel Garza tied Pete Dunne up with, and it looked cool until the finish when you could see that Pete Dunne was holding his own arm.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, what? Like, seriously. Oh, you know what? We are live. I wonder if anybody's watching. So what were your thoughts about this match while I fucking...
Well, Pete Dunne was going to win the match. But at the same time, Hector Garza looked really good in the match as well. He got a little bit of offense in. A lot of stiff kicks. But what I really dug about the match was just the charisma between the two. Because Pete Dunne, all he has to really do is just shrug.
Yeah, but other than the shrug, who ever put Pete Dunne in a column of charisma?
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely not top 10 most charismatic NXT superstars.
He is to me. Because, maybe it's just his intensity in the ring. And just the fact that he just wants to go around breaking people's fingers. But Angel Garza's got enough charisma for both of them.
This is true.
So.
My first note on this match is outside, Garza does a backdrop onto Pete Dunne, who ends up doing a headstand on the apron using the ropes. But then Garza backs up and super kicks him from that.
Right.
That was pretty wicked. Later on in the match, Pete Dunne, he's running at the corner, and then he runs up the buckles, does the flip, lands successfully, and then hits a German suplex where he turns Angel Garza mid-suplex, and Garza lands face first instead of back first. That was wicked. Let's see. Dunne counters a Tiger Bomb attempt and ends up lifting by the legs instead of traditional, somersault onto my shoulders attempt. Lifts him by the legs and plants Garza with a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Let's see. Dunne's up on the top, or he's on the middle turnbuckle in the corner, and Garza kicks him off, and then drop kicks his knee for a near fall. I thought at this point he was going to start working on his knee. Not really. No, it wasn't long, and this match was over. Garza goes for a lion salt, but instead of just jumping off the ropes, he stands on the middle rope and taunts the crowd for a moment, and then jumps off, and he was already out of position here. But he lands on the mat, and Pete Dunne's already raised his legs and grabbed his arm out of midair, and immediately does the wishbone on the fingers and puts in that submission. I don't even know what to call it.
I break your fingers.
Yeah, for the tap out.
But the part that you didn't catch because he kind of stepped away was he was seething and just staring at Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne just shrugged. He's like, what do you expect me to do? Did you not watch any of my matches? Champion, 600 some odd days, almost 700.
Yeah. So after this match, we get the Street Profits, and this was from Monday. They're doing a promo in Central Park in New York City.
On top of some rocks.
Yeah. And the gist of this is they missed their championship titles, and they're going to do something about it next week. I don't know if this means a match or not, though. Nothing was made official, but they said this Monday. So I feel like something should have been made official already.
I think they're going to approach Riddle on Monday, or assume that he's just going to give them the title shot. But he's going to tell me I have to earn it and have another match either that night or that next week.
We shall see. It is a 2-hour show. Now, granted, it's going to be the first hour on USA, then the second hour on the network, which is fine.
Yeah.
I just got to remember to record it with my streaming service. Thank God for Cloud DVR.
Mm-hmm.
After this, we get our third match of the night. We've got Raul Mendoza versus Cameron Grimes, again from the Breakout Tournament. And at one point, Raul Mendoza almost gets the pinfall towards the very beginning of the match. He goes for a Monty Straw Cradle, but instead of going for the full pin, he starts rolling with it.
Yeah.
And then finally lands in on a pin and gets a 2 count. And the commentator said that would have been a underdog victory.
That would have been an upset. And it wouldn't have been, really.
Seriously.
Well, granted, he had already wrestled as Trevor Lee elsewhere. But Raul Mendoza's been there for quite some time. He's kind of like, I won't say he's a seasoned enhancement performer, but he's got a couple wins under his belt. Like, he had a little bit of hot streak going for a short time.
Yeah, so far Cameron Grimes has 1 win, and that was in the Breakout Tournament. That's it. So Cameron Grimes does win, though. Like, this is the one person from the Breakout Tournament that's had a match of the 3 that is actually getting put over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you.
I think it's the top hat. He had the top hat.
That tells you where Raul Mendoza sits on the NXT roster.
Yeah.
It was an okay match. My first note, Raul is up top and he runs the ropes because Grimes is a little far away from him for a drop kick, but he runs the ropes and jumps off of them for the drop kick. And then does a running shooting star, which was okay. It's a little sloppy. But gets the near fall. Then at the end of the match, he goes for the Phoenix Splash, but Cameron Grimes dodges it, and Mendoza lands on his feet, but then Grimes comes out of the corner with that running double stomp, that leap into the double stomp to the chest, and gets the 1, 2, 3.
I want to say it's just a crazy looking move. Like, you're not used to seeing a double stomp done to somebody standing up.
But that was almost his only offensive move in the whole match.
Yeah.
Raul Mendoza had his number for the whole match until that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the victory. So I don't know.
Well, sometimes that's all you need is one opportunity.
I guess so.
I think that's what he's showing.
I think Christopher Willis is the only person in the live chat. So what's going on, Christopher? Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's early, guys. I know, but this is really late for us, so we're trying to bridge the gap. Anyway, after this, we get a segment with Candice LeRae in the back. We are actually inside William Regal's office.
It's not a mop room or anything. It's an actual 4 walls and a desk.
Rare cameo of the actual inside of William Regal's office. Wow, so this must be important. And Candice LeRae is just bitching.
Mm-hmm.
She is complaining about Io Shirai getting opportunities, even though she has been basically a total dick to everybody.
Yeah.
And Regal agrees and says what he's going to do is make the triple threat a fatal 4-way and include Candice LeRae. That is the match that we're going to have, next week or the week after?
Next week.
Next week. Oh, man, that is going to be a loaded card.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun. So he's going to add her to that match for the number 1 contendership for the Women's Championship. And let's see, who else is in it? Io Shirai. We've got
Bianca Belair and Mia Yim. But then Regal has a little bit of another flash of brilliance that says if Ripley wins the match, she should be allowed into the match as well to turn into a 5-pack challenge.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. After this, we get a video promo for, I cannot believe it, you said this last week. Yes. I don't know if it was during the show or not, but you're like, man, where's Dakota Kai? I miss her. Yeah. And sure the fuck enough, we get a video promo for Dakota Kai. It kind of presents her as like new, but then at the end it says returning.
Yeah.
So, or returns.
And then Nigel gets all high on her too. He's like, Dakota Kai's coming back. Oh, how I missed her. Yeah. And my English accent is horrible.
And this leads into a couple of announcements. First of all, they're going to say it again, Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong for the North American Championship. They said that's going to be in the first hour that is on the USA Network. So that's probably going to be the main event there. And then the main event on the second hour that's going to be on the WWE Network is going to be Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane in a street fight.
Yep.
And sure enough,
that's the way that match should have been in the first place.
When it's not a pay-per-view or a takeover, your predictions seem to be like 70-30.
Yeah.
But,
well, speaking of predictions, we have our prediction video we're doing tomorrow for,
I'm just saying, you called a street fight for these guys.
Yep.
But I bet you can't predict the winner.
Oh, yeah.
Who you got? I'm going to say Matt Riddle wins this.
Yeah, Matt Riddle has to, because Killian Dane won this last one, and they'll have a third match.
Yeah, third match.
Yep.
Let's see how the second match goes.
Yeah.
So before we get on to the main event, let's check let's see, Quaz Swerve is here. Israel Diaz. Shout out to Israel
Sup,
Diaz.
Israel?
Our greatest fan that's never been on the show. We got to get you on the show, sir.
Yes.
On the the NXT party.
That'd be awesome.
Let's see. Noah's here. Thank you, Unlimited Data, for the bus. It will be great to see Dakota Kai again. Yeah, we agree. Noah, bro. So, shout out to Noah. You can find him on YouTube at Noah Foster 210. So we are on to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And as we said, Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler, who comes out alone, which is a good sign.
But let's talk first about how much cooler Rhea Ripley's entrance is now.
With the big ass screen behind her?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Everything about this thing was just spot on and perfect.
And she's just done it so many times, especially when she was in the main event in NXT UK, that she's spot on with that.
But she's soaking in the crowd adulation. She's just loving it there already. You can just tell.
But not an all-out baby face or anything. Like, she's not tried to look like a baby face, but she is the more baby face of the
She's more over at this point. I think people are kind of not really done with Shayna Baszler, but they know what she can accomplish in the ring. But I think they want a change.
Yeah, there needs to be a change.
Yeah, and this will be the change, I believe. Hopefully.
Yeah, unless Baszler gets called up and just drops the title, like, something needs to change. So, any thoughts on this match before I break it down?
It was shorter than I thought it was going to be. The end was a little more different than I thought it was going to be. Like, yep. I knew it was going to be shenanigans, but I didn't think the shenanigans were going to go the way they did.
Yeah.
And it was more of a teaser than anything else, which, since it was non-title, you can kind of, expect that kind of thing. But the whole atmosphere for the place was nuts. Because we had Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley finally in the ring together. Everybody thinks it's going to be a huge match, and it didn't really turn into that. It just turned into almost like a feeling out process. And then out come the Wolves.
So my first note here is that the beginning of this match is basically them trading attempts at moves, kind of. Like it's a power of strength challenge between the two of them. And it seems like a couple of times it ends with Baszler going for some sort of submission lock on the arm, and then Rhea Ripley countering it with a power move.
Yeah.
I think she did a scoop slam off of a standing arm bar. It was really cool. But at some point, Baszler, I guess Rhea goes for a kick, and Baszler gets her leg over the top rope, but then back under the middle rope, hanging up, and then kicks her leg out from under her. Now, this goes back to earlier in the match, like beginning of the match, where Baszler tried to kick Rhea's leg out from under her. Yeah. She was over near the ropes, and didn't happen, and then Rhea just catches her off guard and kicks her leg out from under her and goes to stomp on her head, and Baszler rolls away. Well, this time she kicks her leg out from under her and hangs her up by her leg, like a muffler stretch, but without the head there. instead the top rope. Baszler tries Kirifuda clutch, and Rhea backs her up into the corner, but then Baszler actually climbs to the middle rope, grabs her back in the Kirifuda clutch, and hangs her for that full fucking 4 count.
Yep.
Well, 3. And then Rhea actually punches her in the head and battles out of it. But then kicks Baszler off the top rope. Let's see. Outside, Rhea gets Baszler up in an electric chair and then drops her face first over the steps. That was wicked. And then rolls her back in the ring, and now you hear it in the crowd. The crowd tells you what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir run out to the ring, and I think Jessamine gets in the ring and gets kicked or something by Rhea. And since she actually did the contact, did the move, the ref doesn't automatically throw the match out. And
who's Jessica, by the way?
Yeah. Somewhere during the shenanigans, somebody grabs a chair and throws it into Baszler, who tries to hit Rhea Ripley with it. But Rhea grabs the chair out of midair, takes it, and then she hits Baszler with the chair and gets disqualified.
Yep.
And wasn't quite the disqualification we thought was going to happen. We thought it was going to be in favor of Rhea, and she was going to get inserted in that title contenders match.
I still think Regal will say there's foul play involved and there's ill intention on the part of the champion, so she has it coming, whoever her opponent may be. So
yeah, but the next takeover is
November.
Yeah, and I think this was just a teaser, and somewhere in the next few months we're going to see Rhea get an opportunity, and then she cashes it in at War Games.
So you think Candice LeRae will probably pull the victory and go against Shayna Baszler, only to lose, and then
somebody's going to pull the victory. Maybe it'll be Mia Yim, and we'll get match number 3 or 4. Who's counting? But there's going to be a placeholder, and then hopefully we see Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler at War Games on a bigger stage, and that's where Rhea takes the belt.
I think main thing, maybe Rhea Bianca again, which I wouldn't mind. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't mind anybody except for probably Mia Yim. I'm tired of seeing Mia Yim get opportunity after opportunity. There, I said it.
Now, this isn't the last segment of the show. Before the show goes off the air, you get Shock the System, and the Undisputed Era comes on the screen, and they are one title away from all of the gold.
Yep.
And they said next week that prophecy is going to come true. Basically, that was
it.
Yeah, we're going live on USA, folks. Bye.
Yeah.
Boom.
And you're welcome. They pretty much said, they pretty much made us say thank you to them.
We're going to discard the outro and go back to the main event.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the end of the main event. And on What's NXT, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. And Jerry, where do you rate tonight's main event?
No title implications. We know we're getting another match instead of Ripley and Baszler.
Well, there was implied possible title implications. Where if she won the match, she might get put in the Fatal 4-Way and make it a 5-pack challenge.
Yeah. But even then, we didn't really get to see nearly as much as I was hoping for. So I can't see going over a 3, so I'd probably say 2 3/4.
I think 2 3/4 is fair, but this is Rhea Ripley. Yeah. I don't give a fuck how short the match was, or the fact that she got herself disqualified.
Oh, she's wearing the blue.
Love Rhea Ripley. I'm going to give it a solid 3.
Yeah.
So and Shayna Baszler. I said at the beginning of the match to Jerry, you've got Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley, and Jessica Carr. Is it?
Yeah.
Who's the ref? And I'm like, I can't think of any better match right now. Honestly. That's a great trio right there. And then Jerry with his comment. You want me to say it? I'll say it.
Go for it.
He said, scissor fight. I damn near lost it, folks. So, yeah, I'm going to say 3. 3 stars. And that brings us to the end of this show. And let's see if we've got any more No, it says, I'll say Io wins, Candice causes her, and then Shayna gloats, and Rhea comes out and makes her statement. Thus, match set up for War Games. Yeah, but this is going to have to take place over several months. So I'd rather see Rhea Ripley face a few people, get on a winning streak, and then get in another match or series of matches that gets her a championship opportunity, and then we see her at War Games.
I was about to say, go ahead and put her matches with Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah, just get her feet wet a little bit.
See the holidays here. He says, "Good morning, everyone. What's up, Chris?" And Israel Diaz says, "What's next for Johnny Wrestling? Another championship match, putting over new talents." Well, I don't think he's going to put over Shane Thorne, but Shane Thorne is definitely what's next for Johnny Wrestling.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to get the rub at least. Like I don't think Shane Thorne's main event ready, but I think he's ready to be at least mid card and go for a mid card title. That.
Yeah, Noah says he's first going to kick Shane Thorne's butt in a match.
Yeah.
If anybody has any other questions, now's the time to drop them in the chat room. Other than that, thank you for joining us. Please join us tomorrow for the NXT party. That is where we will be reviewing NXT UK episode number 60.
Number 60.
Number 60. We are closing in on our 1 year anniversary starting these videos.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be at the end of the month.
2 weeks away, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Again, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to join us on the big screen and help us review a future episode of NXT UK, you can find me on Twitter. Go to nerdq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at NoDQ General, and also my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
Just join us there for memes, discussions, arguments, more or less shenanigans at this point. There's some arguments going on there, especially about the thought of an NXT Canada. That's been a heated argument now.
Holy shit. The Holiday Chris Mace with a $5 super chat. What do you all think about 205 Live possibly joining NXT? I think that would definitely help fill out that 2 hours.
Yeah.
It would give new life to both brands.
Mm-hmm.
Merge the brands. Abso-fucking-lutely. Because NXT is going to be live now, so now you don't have to go back on the idea that 205 is in fact live.
Yeah. Triple H had mentioned in an interview that I read earlier on ODQ.com that all these brands, like NXT UK and 205 Live, are pretty much going to be under the NXT umbrella. So the idea of any of them appearing on NXT television on USA is like 100% possible.
Well, they all already kind of swap brands. Like you see, like Jack Gallagher in NXT UK. Well, that kind of makes sense, but still, he's a 205 Live guy. And then you've got Raul Mendoza and Carrillo, Humberto Carrillo coming into NXT. But they're 205 Live guys.
They've already announced that the January takeover that we usually get with the Royal Rumble is not going to happen. So, and that's going to be a Worlds Collide thing. So
some fucking bullshit.
I actually wouldn't mind it if it's like 3 NXT matches, or 2 or 3 NXT matches, 2 or 3 NXT UK, maybe 1 or 2.
It's easy to say, but how many of those matches from the last Worlds Collide tournament did we even watch?
We didn't watch any of them.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. But
even then, there's enough buzz about them. And we watched Luke Harper versus.
But the point of a takeover is you dedicate 2.5, 3 hours on a Saturday night to watching the product.
Yeah.
Instead of, this is like 3 shows in one, and we're gonna just put them all on the network.
That's the thing. I think we actually talked about this a little bit. They're afraid that NXT is going to outshine anything that they do, which is...
Christopher May says Kushida made an appearance in 205 Live this week as well.
Yep, he did.
So, there you go.
They're already starting to swap talent, so it's going to be almost like a seamless transition between them, because You have ultra talented guys on 205 not getting their dues, and you've got some other guys here on NXT that are still getting their feet wet from Performance Center that don't belong in the land of giants that some of these guys are from.
So, also I want to mention that because the holiday Christopher Mace did a $5 super chat, he actually is the new super chat champion. I was authorized by Aaron Rift that if somebody donates to the channel $5, you become. I mean, it's live on No DQ. Why wouldn't?
Yeah.
I don't have a title to hold up for you, but congratulations, Chris Mace. You are the new champ.
Woo!
Woo. Other than that, if you like our video, click the like button. That's underneath me over here. And if you like all of our videos, do yourself a favor and click the subscribe button. That's over there underneath Jerry. And if you are subscribed to No DQ, that's the channel you're watching this on right now, click that bell icon because the next time we go live, it'll let you know.
Yeah.
I think we actually did or tried to do a scheduled live, but I don't think it took. So we just went live at 7 o'clock.
Works just as well. We got a much better camera going this time. So
hopefully that translates well to YouTube.
Oh, shit.
So it wasn't money not worth well spent.
We know.
Anyway, join us on Aftermatch Wrestling. That's our channel. That's where our videos for NXT UK, the NXT party, goes first and in HD. Yeah. And we are well beyond our 100 goal. Now our goal is 1,000.
So we can go live on our own channel.
We want to multiply that by 10 so we can go live on
that equals 1,000.
Actually, that'd be 1,140.
Oh, yeah.
130, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want to get to 1,000 so we can go live on Aftermatch. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. And if you are on Aftermatch Wrestling watching this after the fact, click that share button. Just share us with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
MySpace if you're still stuck on there.
Yeah, if they like to watch NXT or NXT UK, maybe they'll like watching us bullshit about the shows. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Instagram, you can find me there at osborne.stefan. Forgot to mention that.
Where I have no content. A picture of a grilled cheese sandwich.
No,
that's about it.
I have no content other than a profile picture, and I have like 50-some followers, and I think it'd be cool as shit to get to triple digits with no content. That would be hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's funny to you. If it is, subscribe or follow or whatever you do on Instagram. I don't even fucking know.
Instagram.
I think that is everything. Mm-hmm. All the plugs. For the General Jerry Slaughter, I'm the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in NXT time.